Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Black Moon Lilith conjunct one's natal moon. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve the Black Moon Lilith, they could manifest in a negative manifestation of the sign that it's in. Um, it could be a formidable adversary. It could be a trauma, whether physical or emotional. It may be some kind of void in one's life. It could be some kind of abuse, whether it would be physical or emotional, I should say. And when transit Black Moon Lilith conjuncts the natal moon, well, this may be expressed in really the very negative energy of the sign, the negative manifestation of the zodiac sign it's in, a very powerful enemy. It could be something that's unveiled, or I should say, something you really don't want unveiled, and also again trauma, and abuse, and physical and or emotional of trauma and abuse. So anyway, and it could be that connected with, it may be associated with our own. It could be our own emotions. It could be a very negative expression of how we respond or react to something. If it's in Gemini, it could be very high-strung, excitable energy. Leo could be very loud, vociferous, boisterous type of emotions and feelings, and reactions may be such, or maybe they're our own worst enemy. Remember that the Black Moons can be connected with a very formidable adversary or powerful enemy. Our own enemy at this time may very well be the emotional, element in our life, our emotions, our feelings, and how we may react and respond to things. Now, as I've stated in previous videos, but for those of you that don't know, that conjunctions in astrology are basically neutral. They are very intensifying, integrating energy. They can have positive and negative energy connected with it. And a lot of whether this transit is more positive or negative, a lot of that could be predicated and dependent on the aspects it makes to other points in your natal chart. Um, but the thing about this is, it's really keep in mind that the moon is also connected with the public, so it could be something that you had maybe held back on, or something you didn't want unveiled may come out publicly at this time. It could be maybe an enemy comes out publicly and basically declares you his or her enemy one way or another. It can also be, if you're going through any kind of suffering or any major adversity or some kind of trauma, it's something that you might be more inclined or have a greater propensity to bring out publicly now, more so than usual. Remember, the moon is also connected with the home, the family, people you're close to home with, the mother. It could be prominent women in your life scheme, and one or more of these people may be declaring you as an enemy, or you might perceive them as some kind of very strong or powerful, formidable adversary at this time, or you might be seeing a darker side with these people, one or more of these people at this time. And because remember, Black Moon could be the dark side. It's also very could be nefarious energy. But the thing about this too is, when we look at this, and say if this is in Scorpio, it could be a side of these people that you might see a really sinister, sadistic, or vengeful side that maybe you didn't really might have not been cognizant of before. Another thing too is that, anatomically speaking, okay, the moon is connected with the chest, the breast, the stomach, and water retention, and the left or the right eye, depending on gender. Now, the thing about this is that, remember that the Black Moon Lilith could be a void, and it can reflect an emptiness. It could be something. It could be darkening energy. It's also connected with suffering. So it could be that you may be going through some kind of pain or anguish or some suffering connected with the chest or the breast area, the stomach. I could be flippant on this and say that maybe it's an empty stomach at this time. So since the black moon can be connected with the void in one's life, and then the stomach, of course, is associated with the moon. But I'm really being flippant with that. But it can be some issues with that at this time. And remember that when you look at this as well, and say if it's in Taurus, it could be a very persistent matter, as an example. Now, another thing too is that the I'm sorry, the moon is connected with the subconscious and unconscious. So it might be time, the black moons could be associated with what may put one in a strong state of fright or trepidation. It may be one's dreams at this time. There may be something on a subconscious level that might be causing this. If it's in, say, if it's in Capricorn, it could be some kind of fear, maybe attaining success or maybe losing a position of authority, as an example. Um, it can be something too. I mean, the moon is also associated with our food as well. So it might be a time that we might be, since the black moons can be connected with suffering, just be careful because being overindulgent in certain foods might be strongly to your detriment at this time. Uh, it can be where, the black moon oath is also connected with death. Maybe it's just a figurative death of a certain diet or food that you had been eating consistently. And if it's in Gemini, it could be a variety of foods, as an example. Taurus is kind of that potatoes and meat, kind of food. But anyway, now another way this could manifest and pan out, this could be some cases it may express itself in a very strong subconscious expression of the dark side of the sign that it's in. And going back to zodiac sign Gemini, it could be some kind of expression of superficiality, vicariousness, contradictory energy, being mischievous. Um, and the thing is, Black Moon is also connected with suppressed anger. So if there's suppressed anger at this time, it could be connected with issues concerning safety and security. That might be really making you infuriated, but maybe you're just having trouble bringing it out. Say if this is in Scorpio, as an example, it could be over a stalker, maybe just some corruption in your area. It could be crime. It could be an obsessive or fixated family member. Now, in other cases too, this can also be in isolated cases. Could be the death, because the black moon is associated with death. It could be the death of a mother or a prominent woman in your life. It could be a family member, someone you're simply close to home with. If this falls in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, it could be a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Cancerian characteristics. And going back to the anatomical correspondences, if you would, of the moon, it could be, you look at the moon could be associated with the left or the right eye. So it can be, in some cases, it could be some kind of darkness that might be associated with this, like night blindness or suffering. Say if it's in Pisces, it could be like a blurry or lazy eye, or even a cross eye, maybe in some cases. I have a prominent family member that has the black moon Lilith in at least one conjunction to her natal sun, and again, the sun is connected with the left or the right eye depending on gender, and she has night blindness, and she has it in the zodiac sign Scorpio, which of course Scorpio can be associated with darkness. Now, another thing too is it could also be, given that the black moon Lilith can be obsessive and fixated energy, this could be a time where you might be more obsessed and fixated and really on what you need at this time. Say if it's in Capricorn, as an example, it could be some kind of success, or trying to attain success, your stature in life, something career related. It could be getting a structure or discipline. in your life scheme. It could be something of a political or government nature, or doing. It could be some kind of career or position that is Capricorn related, especially if this were to fall in the 2nd or 6th or 10th house in your natal chart, as those are basically the money houses. Hold on a moment, people. Like a Capricorn position, such as like accounting or working in government, politics. It could be some general mundane work, uh, doing something. You could say again, anything like something with business, anything that could be working in dentistry, anything that's Capricorn related, as an example. And also to keep in mind, the Black Moon Lilith can reflect what we don't want unveiled. So at this time, when you have this transit that's contacting the natal moon, it could be about not wanting to unveil certain feelings or emotional needs. It could be feelings that you may have toward another person. Um, it could be something. Say if this is in Aries, it could be maybe there's some kind of acrimonious emotions that you really don't want to come out at this time, or there's some kind of it might be an emotional need, maybe for some kind of combat, um, and maybe something, anything that could be Aries related, something like with the military, or it might even be, the purchasing of a gun, or for example, because Aries, I would say, could be connected with firearms. It could be something where, you just might need it to protect yourself or defend yourself, especially if you're in like a high crime area, as an example. So those are some things that ways that this could manifest and pan out. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.